Hello? How did you get this number? Don't you know he's listening? The 13. He's here.
You have entered the 13, a place where real stories about music, touring, and the beyond are told. Music does something to us. We all experience it in our own way. It can affect our senses, transport us through time, and release emotions. On this podcast, we will talk with people about the power of music and the beyond. What does the beyond mean? Let's find out together. Turn on your metronomes because this time is about to be tracked.
Like this, there's this weird ass fucking connection. I'm not going to use any names or anything like that, but like, dude, so I'm in Fort Worth. I moved to Houston when I was a junior in high school. Okay. But my wife that I have here and I met in Fort Worth once I moved back up here. Okay.
Do you
So I
have a
lived in
wife
Houston
somewhere
for a
else?
while. Huh?
Do you have a wife
No,
somewhere
right?
else?
I know. Yeah. It makes it sound like that. My wife, my only wife, thank God, I love her. She's perfect. So we met up here, but there was a girl that I like dated when I was in 8th grade, man. Like she was like the first love or something like that
Oh yeah, I understand.
here in Fort Worth when we lived here. Now, when I moved to Houston, no big deal. Like, just moved on. Like we broke up long before I moved to Houston, so no big deal. From Houston, I moved back up to North Texas, meet my wife. Cool. My wife's best friend just had a divorce and then is met a new guy. That new guy turns out also dated this chick that I dated in 8th grade. Now it's really funny that the relationship before my wife's friend. Now what's really interesting is he's from where I moved to in Houston and never met her before that.
Wow,
Isn't that weird?
divine timing.
It's this interesting like cosmic web, that's like woven together. And it's
Yeah,
this
yeah.
thing that like whenever you think of someone and then they call you or text you, and you haven't talked to them
Yeah.
in a while or something like that. Like that's interesting, right?
It is interesting. You know what's interesting is I didn't do our intro, and I want to keep all that crap in there.
We'll keep all of it. Do your intro now.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the 13. I'm your host, Ryan 13, and today we have our very first returning guest, Brandon Thomas from the Expanding Reality podcast.
Yes.
You can go check the links below. All his stuff is down there. Go check it out, because if you go to expandingreality.com, you can become an expansive insider and see even more crazy stuff and wonderful stuff that could probably melt your brain. So go check it out. Brandon,
Yo.
welcome.
Hey man, thanks. Dude, this is awesome. This is so much fun. I love seeing you. Your studio looks great. A little change in subtle lighting like changes,
yeah.
but I love it, man. It's a soft thing you got going. It's beautiful and amazing, and I'm so proud of you. You're crushing it.
I'm figuring things out. I love your lighting. I love your lighting feels. Do you have you ever gone into virtual reality recently? Like where
Not recently, no.
So like, yeah, back in the 90s we did, right? We'd go
Right.
to like
It was all blocky.
Memorial City whatever that place was, where they had the little thing and you put it on your head and it was all blocky and crappy. But recently they have when you go watch Netflix in virtual reality, like it's like you're at a cabin in the snow and there's a warm fire in front of you and then this giant screen above you and you're just watching this movie. And
Wait,
that's how
is
I
this
feel.
a thing?
It is a thing.
I didn't know this. This is new to me. So you can just go onto Netflix, you can say, "Hey, I've got a virtual reality thing," and then they
Yep.
give you a content that then streams in that format where you can enjoy the fact that you're sitting there. Now, will it allow you to play anything you want on Netflix in that mode, or is it limited to a certain set of choices?
I mean, so like when you I'll use, let's pretend my old man glasses are a VR headset, So
Okay.
you put on the glasses, which are up high because I got headphones on. But
Right.
anyway, you put on the glasses, and then now you can look around, and over here is a giant window where you're looking out and you see mountains and snow. In front of you is a fireplace, and above the fireplace is a movie screen, and it's huge because you're in VR, virtual reality, and so you can just literally sit in your room. I've done it in this room, just sit here and been like this. And I'm watching this giant screen, and then I'm like, you know what? I want to look out the window. And you look out the window, and it's snowing, and it's very calming. And the whole reason I bring that up is because that's how I feel your background is. It's very calming. It has this
Oh, yeah.
nice effect. Like I want to look over there. Like, oh, hey.
Yeah. look
That's
on
cool.
back there, guys. There's a lot going on. Yeah, thank you, man. I just, when I threw this thing together, I was like, okay, well, I definitely don't want it to just look like a room in the back of our house, which it is. So I
Yeah.
just built all this furniture, and these little shelves are easy. This is an easy template. You just buy the pipe. I cut these out of board and then stained them and shit too, and all that shit. Anyway,
You just
so I
built,
love it.
it's like I just built all this furniture. It's
Well,
no big deal.
it wasn't a big deal. I just painted the whole goddamn room, and it took a few months to get prepared for it. And like this whole
Sure.
studio desk is like I have wood slats on the side for bracings for the top, but they're exactly spaced the distance between rack gear. So I've got rack gear in both sides of them. You know what I mean? So I built the
Yeah.
table knowing I was just going to screw rack pieces into it. Anyway,
Oh, that's awesome.
so then you have this fucking badass tapestry right here. Look at that fucking thing.
Yeah.
So Ali, Jay's better half from the How to Kill a Sacred Cow podcast, he did
Yeah.
that thing with us, that frequency Thirstill for us.
Yeah.
Expansive Insider, you guys should check it out. She just made this damn thing. It's woven, it's a blanket, like, and it's soft as fuck. It's amazing. So yeah, and then I have this projector thing over here on the ground, and then just shoots these laser lights and this blue light up there, and it kind of slowly rotates. So if you're watching this and fast forward, these things are hauling ass,
Yeah.
but you can't really tell. It's
I
cool.
love it.
I like
think
it.
those
Yeah,
things
it's
I
chill.
think those things are cool. And you got them
Couple salt lamps. It's easy.
dialed in. Yeah.
It's 2 years. You're just like, okay, But at first it was like, too much light and like all that shit. You just figure it out.
The stuff I'm figuring out
Provide.
today. Like I have so many different types of lights in this room right now, and I can never make it right. I'm either white it out, some other color. I've tried this awesome idea that you've given me with the
Diffuser.
t-shirt over the diffuser. I like that. Now I kind of
Well, what you can do too is you mentioned this, and I know we're on air right now, and I know this is still us working out something we were talking about off air, but this is fucking behind the curtain. You guys need to see this. Okay, what I'm thinking too on your light is you said that was at the lowest setting.
Yeah,
it did dim you out. It did dim you out quite a bit, right? So if you crank it up with the diffuser on it, I bet you dial in that perfect deal. Now, the other thing that'll bake your noodle is if you have a fucking bright white light coming through that bitch. If you threw like a different colored t-shirt, see, look at that. It's diffused. It's not as harsh as before. You got kind of it's softer. Softer, I believe.
It's soft. It's not like white.
Dude, you popped a few little details out in your background back there, dude. I love it, but it complements the light in the back. It didn't overpower it. Nice job.
I need to light that up a little bit, I think.
A little bit, yeah.
All my
you
toys.
Throw something like on the ground like I do and just fucking shoot it up. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I tried that. I have these cool things, the things that are making everything blue. Uh-oh.
Yeah, I like that.
Holy crap. The light, this is the first time this light's ever been up here.
Okay.
And so, because I normally have it over here, and I have two other. Anyway, there's so many lights. Nobody cares. I'll edit this part out.
No, I hope you don't. You have to keep this.
Okay,
keep all of it. This is fucking gold.
Okay.
Yeah. Is it gonna fall?
It has fallen.
Okay.
I'm kind of gonna leave it that way.
I like that it's fallen in the same place you have it in position and everything before. Not only did you trust it to be put there again, but you also added the weight of a shirt in the form of a diffuser on top of it. So now you've altered its weight.
There's a tiger. So behind the computer, I'm in the corner. I'm in a corner. I have a corner desk.
No one puts Ryan in the corner. Not even Ryan.
Not even Ryan. But up at the top, I have this stuffed tiger head. It's not a real tiger, but like my mom had this. She's a Katy Tiger fan, grew up in Katy, Texas. She loves a Katy Tiger. She had this crap. She was throwing it out. I'm like, I'm taking that home, putting it on the wall. So anyway, this light was up against the tiger. And anyway, I think the tiger just kind of was like, you know what'll be funny? I make this thing fall on Ryan.
Yeah.
So, okay, guys. So here's a little bit of craziness. This is why this episode may or may not seem like we're just kind of all over the place. Brandon jumped on here last minute with me. I called him because he's one of the most positive people I know. And it's nice to, just call somebody and say, man, I'm not feeling that great. I'm having kind of a down day. And Brandon's one of those people that will just cheer you up instantly. And thank you for always doing that. And when I told him I had a podcast that was scheduled for the day and the scheduling just didn't work out. It's the second time it didn't work. It's not a big deal. It was on my end this time. And I was just kind of feeling a little down about it. And Brandon was like, let's do an episode. Hell yeah, let's go.
Here we are.
Yeah. So
Like,
thank you.
fuck
And
that. Let's
you
do it.
said, in our phone call,
Yeah.
you mentioned a thing called divine timing.
Hmm.
And I would like you to explain a little bit about what that phrase or whatever it means to you, and like where you learned about it.
Man, I excuse me. I've learned about it through just fucking living, dude, and experiencing it. So I heard about this concept of like everything that happens is exactly at the right time, and I wrote it in lyrics. That I feel a lot of the music that I wrote was just pretty not channeled, but kind of not mine. You know what I mean? Like the muse
Sure.
gives you something that you can
Right.
do something with, and I always credit the muse for that. And in some of those lyrics, there would be, that type of verbiage.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I found it to be just something that was easy. I mean, what do you think? What do you think that means? The
What divine
concept of divine timing. Just
timing?
like, do you go real deep with it, or do you find it pretty surface level?
Both.
Okay.
And there, I've been thinking about it since we talked a couple hours ago on the phone, and yeah. So surface level, divine timing. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Whatever. Yeah. Where everything works out for a reason. Yeah. Whatever. But like divine,
Hmm. Makes it sound
like
outside of yourself a little bit, or that it's
yeah,
like something higher than yourself, that when it comes together at a certain time or in a certain way, you can see why it didn't work out the way that you originally wanted it to before, because it's far better. Like this is like the
yeah,
the concept of divine timing, and I just trust this shit. This is something that you do need to trust. There's a concept in, if you've ever ridden a motorcycle, there's a concept called counter steering. Do you know what this is? It's also in car racing at some point. Basically, what you do is whenever you get up to a turn, you don't turn into it, you turn out of it. And then you
yeah,
lean, and then your bike, it lines the wheels up in a way to where you glide through that turn, right? So you're not steering into it. It's called counter steering. So it's counterintuitive, like you don't want to fucking do it. And it's
yeah,
the same thing with like this type of idea. Like you really lean into it and you trust that when shit doesn't work out, perhaps rather than the older version of you, or just one that just pops in every now and then to say hi, just and throwing a tantrum about it, you could just sit there and take a breath and go, okay, well, I mean, it wasn't meant to be. I mean, all of those things, they surround you in movies and shit all the time, but if you really sort of like apply them, and especially under this light, then you sit there and go, okay, well, like it works out for a reason. The example I used with you today when we spoke about this is Dave Zed. He runs a show called Generation Z. Highly recommend everybody check it out. It's one of the coolest fucking things ever. Dave's one of the coolest dudes ever. He and I had scheduled an interview. When I first met him, he was like, "Hey man, had some of my members request you. Will you come on the thing?" And I was like, "Yeah, fuck you. You're Dave Zed, dude. I'm a big fan of yours. Yeah, absolutely." So I go on the show, or we schedule a show, and dude, we rescheduled that thing about 7 or 8 times. Seriously, like literally, like no, like, oh, you're exaggerating. The fish was this big. Really, it was this big.
right,
No, this was
right,
fucking 7 or 8 fucking times, because we both noted how ridiculous it was,
yeah,
and we just couldn't get this shit together. And so we finally did. But when we did, there was his partner that was able to be there. The subject matter was just on point. Like we were all fucking feeling it. Like the stars aligned, as they say.
right,
Astrology might have been on point. Whatever, I don't know.
yeah,
But for some reason, the fact that we didn't do it the first 7 or 8 times, I feel was crucial in why it was so dope as shit the ninth time when we got together, because it set Dave and I on this awesome friendship. Like that was our meeting of just an awesome friend. And maybe, another night I would have been off, or he would have been distracted, or Cam wouldn't have been there, and it would have been just whatever. Either way, the chemistry, all of it, the energy, the subject matter, the people that requested I come on, all of the energy for that was there. And it made it perfect for when it aligned and it worked out, counter to the disappointment you could experience. You're welcome to choose that. And I chose that plenty of other experiences before this. It's only after I chose something different that I was just like, oh shit, this actually works. You know what I mean? It's like
yeah,
the definition of insanity, right? Like if you get twisted over things that don't go your way, then perhaps, man, that's the way you're going to experience it. But if you just kind of approach it 1 or 2 times more, from a different angle than that, and they turn out not to be that, like, then you're playing the what if game, and I get that. But it's the
yeah,
only time I ever fucking played the what if game is, what if, like, what's the best that can happen? What's the best scenario possible? Like, I don't do it the other way anymore. I've got to be very clear on that, because I went through all that shit for fucking years, like everybody, right? But
sure,
on the other
yeah,
side of it, you start figuring out the divine timing is a very real thing. And so for some reason, you and I, my friend, were destined to be here tonight. and to do this.
Absolutely.
And my sister-in-law came in. We had breakfast dinner, like fucking waffles and
Nice.
bacon and eggs and shit. It was amazing. I got
Hell yeah.
decaf coffee kicking here. We're chilling, dude. I love this, man.
I love it too, man. You know,
It's divine timing.
it's divine timing. The interesting thing is I always knew in my head, I never maybe I never said it out loud, and I certainly don't think I even told you, but I always knew I was going to have you on this season, probably
Yeah,
again
sure.
towards the end, just like we did the last time. And I always just knew it in my brain. I'm like, well, Brandon's coming back.
Yeah.
And I never really thought about return guests, you know, or even you being the only return guest, but like so far. But like
Mhm.
the I think we're on, this is episode 20. I mean, I've only done this. This is in the cringe-worthy episodes, you know, the
Yeah,
first
yeah.
of them. Like,
Oh
so
yeah.
I'm totally
Fuck
cool
it.
with I'm totally aware of it and cool with it, and just like every episode is something new. I get to figure out something out, and I'm like, so thank you so much for coming on and
Fuck yeah.
helping me, because this is helping me. First of all, I'm here with just the dogs. The wife's gone for the weekend. She'll be
Yeah.
home tomorrow or whatever. And then canceled podcast yesterday, canceled podcast today. I got one tomorrow, but you know, who
Maybe.
knows what, maybe.
Yeah.
I
You have
mean,
one scheduled for tomorrow. Right.
maybe, yes, but
But that's the
maybe
thing, right? Your attachment to it not occurring is fine. And
may,
this is why I roll
it
with a
bugs
bang.
me. Yes,
I know, and it will, and it will at first, and I understand that. But this is great, and this is why you're talking to me right now, because you know
absolutely.
I talk about this kind of shit like in
Yeah,
this way, and I'll just tell you, it's fucking good for you, man. It really is. It's just one of these things that you've got to experience it, because just like a handful of other content creators, you are definitely one of these guys, man. That you have a big job ahead of you. You have a lot of lives to fucking touch and change. But with that, great power comes great responsibility. And by responsibility, I mean you've got a lot of shit that you need to cross off your list. It's going to be
yeah,
embarrassing. It's going to suck. It's going to
yeah,
whatever. But you got to get that out of the way in these, like you said, to scratch episodes or whatever,
yeah,
which they're not. They're precious to you later, and it's just a cool thing. So either way, you got to get this shit off the list now, because there's a big version of you that's stepping in, but you need to clear the path for it
sure.
energetically. And so you
Yeah,
got to
yeah.
get this dumb shit off the list, man. You're gonna fucking go, oh, I can't believe I said the guy's name wrong. Oh, I can't believe I spelt it wrong, and now it's on a flyer forever. And oh, I mean,
All
it's
those
just like
things.
all the things, man. But god damn it, it's part of it, and it's beautiful, and you're doing it right. If you're not fucking going, oh, why did I do that? Then you're not doing this right, because you,
Welcome.
like I said, have a big fucking job here. And so the why did I do that's are
Oh
for
man.
you to integrate as lessons, so that you can cross them off the list and move on to other why the fuck did I do that, with a bigger
Yeah.
audience, because you're, like I said, you've got a bigger voice to offer here, and that voice needs to be tuned. This is your vocal training. Think of it like that. This experience is your vocal training. You have a big voice ahead of you, and you've got a
Yeah.
lot of things to say, and a lot of lives to touch. So through that process, this process, you showing up to lessons every day, or just
Yeah.
whenever you can, then that is your training, man. And you tune that instrument. And that's what this is. It's a cohesive, it's so many skills rolled into one. And you've got everything, but it takes going, why the fuck did I do that? Like so many
Yeah. Oh
times in this
yeah.
early, dude, I get it. I get it. I get it. I get it.
Oh
If
my
you,
gosh.
again, if you're not doing that, you're not doing it right. So you're
And
doing
you
great.
know, and I'm 100% aware of it. And the cool thing is that I am aware of it. Or like
Mhm.
the thing that's helping me is that I'm aware of it. So I go back to the Billy Sheehan episode where I'm like, "Welcome to the 13. I'm your host Ryan 13, and
Shaken.
here's Billy Sheehan," and he goes, "It's Sheehan." And I've said this on multiple episodes because I've always said his name that way,
Good,
but
man.
it's not the right. Anyway, that's how the
Didn't
interview
do it out of malice.
started.
Yeah, you didn't do it out of malice. You got your bullshit out of the way early, and it's just smooth sailing from there, dude. Fuck it.
About 15 minutes later, I finally settled in. And if you go back and watch that episode,
Yeah, your
there's,
stomach. Yeah.
like,
You're like,
so you're in a band called the
yeah.
Winery Dogs with Mike Portnoy from Dream Theater.
Oh god, that is awesome.
But it's, and there's other instances too, like where I did my one and only. Well, I've been on your show where I've been in a hotel room before. Where
Yes, yeah, and you crushed it.
thank you. I brought this whole rig. I brought not the whole rig, but this this mic and my Scarlett and everything with me to a hotel, and I did an interview with Andy Blacksugar from Blondie and KMFDM.
Hell yeah.
And I just had a mustache. So go watch that episode because my mustache is ridiculous.
Okay. Did you name it?
Man, I should have.
Okay.
Mo. It's Mo.
Mo. Okay.
But anyway, and then there was stuff in there that like I was not necessarily. That guy was so cool. He was so gracious with his time and like knowing. You can tell when people do a lot of podcasts when they know and they know when you're new. Like,
Yes.
and
Yes.
it's cool when they're gracious about it. When
Yeah.
Andy definitely was gracious about it. Like, oh,
Good.
cool. This
That's
guy's
a real pro, by the way.
this
Yeah.
guy's new. All right.
Yeah. Be sweet. Yeah.
Yeah,
You
he
don't
was
got to
super.
put this guy through the fucking grinder.
Yeah,
Just be
he was a
sweet.
sweet dude. So, okay, so more about divine timing. So when I was a kid, I knew. Oh, actually, this isn't really about divine timing.
Okay.
but it's close. It's like manifesting. And like if Al Shire's watching this, he hates it when people use that word. I don't know why he hates that, but I mean that's cool.
Yeah. He's got strong resistance. I don't know.
Yeah,
We
but
wish him
like,
consciousness. I hope he figures out that he's manifesting all the time, whether he knows he isn't is or not. And so he
yeah.
just basically apprehends it and takes control of it. And you
Well,
at least start with fun things, like finding a
yeah,
penny with your birth year on it, something like that.
that's great. And when I was a kid, I knew I was going to be in a band. I knew I was going to go on tour. I knew I was going to try to. Well, I thought I was going to be Elvis Presley, and maybe I could have, but I decided to start manifesting something else later in life. But like
Thought you
all
were
this,
literally going to be Elvis Presley or like Elvis Presley in popularity and notoriety.
that's the
Okay.
one.
Okay.
But maybe I don't know, man. Maybe I could have been on the Hollywood Walk of Fame out there just dancing around. Look
After an
out, man.
assassin. Yeah.
Oh.
Watch out.
the but the all that stuff happened, and then while I was in that, I was watching King of the Hill, and I remembered thinking that dude goes to work, sells propane accessories,
Uh-huh.
and he after work he has a kid and a dog and a wife, a house, 4 buddies he hangs out with in the alleyway drinking beer.
Yeah.
I was like, I fucking want that.
Did you?
I did.
Yeah,
And
because
now
and then you got that. And
then
now how
now
do
I
you
have well now I'm like, well now I want something different. I mean, I still want the things I have,
Yeah.
obviously, but well now I don't know now I don't know what I'm manifesting. It's subconscious. It must be this, but like because this has taken over
Yeah.
the YouTube thing for me. I eat hot sauces all the time still, but I
Yeah.
don't do this stuff every day like I was doing on the YouTube channel.
Yeah. You're
This
gonna need to, start making money at this to afford the colonoscopy that you're gonna need real short with those fucking YouTube videos.
You're correct. Also, guys, everyone, I started making the 13 hot sauce. We got habanero and a green one, which is Serrano.
Awesome.
Not for sale yet, but
Uh-huh.
if you want to try a bottle, I got a bunch that I can send you, and I'll send it to you for free. Just if I have any left, you can try it. Tell me what it needs. Just let me know. Critique me,
Dude, that's
but be
awesome.
nice about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, I love
That's
making hot
cool.
sauce. They're super fun. It's super fun, and cooking is super fun. That's a new fun thing I've been doing the last couple of years since the pandemic. Learning how to be a cook. I guess that would make sense. That's my technical last name. Everyone who didn't know.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's like
Says it right
on
there.
the nose. You've been avoiding it your whole life, and everybody's like, finally, it's coming into his destiny. You like got the
Finally.
white hat. Yeah.
So anyway, like so what do you think about that? What do you think about manifesting? I mean, like, is there truth to it, or you think I mean, is
I
it
think there's
something that we
so
just
much to it.
do? Is it metaphysical? Is it like is it
Yes
us
to all the
talking to
shit you've
God?
said so far. Yes,
Yeah.
yes to all the shit you've said so far. You can keep going. Let me see if we can keep adding yeses to this thing. Go ahead.
Is it us talking to God? Is it God talking to us? Are we
You're God.
going? Yeah. Yep. There you go. I'm God. Oh, that's
We're
why
God. You're God. I'm
my,
God. We're all God.
my
There's
Mortis
nothing that isn't God.
the Mortis t-shirt I had growing up, Mortis back here, by the way, everybody.
Nice.
He it said God hates me.
Why do you hate yourself?
Wow.
That's weird.
I don't know. Me and my wife have actually been talking about
No.
that a lot lately. Like, I don't know. That's a whole different dialect.
We can do it. We'll do it after manifestation. Just remind me. Are you taking notes? I can take notes if you'd like.
I can. I have a pen and
Okay.
pad.
Just so you remind me. I don't know. But manifestation is very interesting, man. I've been basically aware of it for over 20, I would say close to 20 years. And when I first attempted manifestation, I thought that was it. I gave, everything to it. I was like, fuck yeah, this is it. And then I just didn't, nothing happened from it. And I was just like, fuck manifestation, like, fuck this shit, fuck all this. This is
Yeah.
stupid. And then, later on, went through like 10 years of normal job, regular job, whatever. And about, I don't know, about a year shy of quitting that thing, there's just so many things that came in. Now, whether you want to say that something shifted or whatever, I've never considered myself somebody connected to like angels or aliens or anything like that. I talk about all that shit, but I'm not a conscious experiencer. We can definitely, if you want to know, talk about that a little bit. But the idea that that there is this place in which we find ourselves, whatever this thing is, right? If it's round, if it's flat, if it's fucking realm, if it's simulation, like whatever it is, it's in my conclusion so far. And this is just fucking as you're talking to me today. This changed tomorrow. It changes
Sure.
constantly. It's
Right.
fluid, but I'm pretty dialed in on a few points about how we interface, at least interact with this place here. And one of them that came back around during this whole exploration through the show and all this kind of shit was man of fucking festation, dude. And I was like, God damn it. So this bitch, and I gave it another go. So it's kind of like whenever you read a book later on that you didn't like before or liked a lot, you get a whole lot more out of later, or watching a movie for the same
Yeah.
effect. Like it was one of these things that really, once I looked at it and talked to people who I found to be very credible in what they said, just simply because of their passion and authenticity. That's honestly all it takes for me. And then it's a tune thing. Like I'm tuned to a frequency. I will say that. Yes, I'm not a woo-woo guy, but I'm tuned to something. And I
Sure.
pick up on that. Then those folks, I respect I find them credible. And they were saying, that they had these results with these practices. And I was just like, well, I mean, fuck it, right? Basically. So I was just like, okay, well, let's just try this thing again. Let's give it another go. I'm all about, trying new shit again, revisiting old things with new eyes. And so that's
Yeah.
what I did. Man, I found it to be, again, frustrating at first because I found, the idea itself of sort of the breaking out of like an abandoning hard work as a concept in lieu of just being in vibrational match to being a magnet to your desires like that. Yeah, it's appealing, but man, the leap from yes, this sounds cool to all the data in between, because I don't call it failure, I call it data. All the fucking data, and there's a lot of goddamn data in between. Then once you get on the other side of it, you go, oh, okay, I get it. It's about you. You are a match. But I mean, it makes sense on even more of a psychological level. Like you don't even need to bring manifestation woo woo freaky woo woo shit into it. You can just say, okay, well, if I'm not a piece of shit, I'm not going to attract situations in which piece of shits find themselves. And you just actually say, okay, I just choose to be a greater, grander version of myself. And what does that look like? And dude, I mean, like to picture that, sit with that, like hang out with that for a little bit. That's what I did. I was like, what does that look like? What does the me look like that has its shit what I want? You know what I mean? Just at its base level.
Yeah.
Like, what is the me that is driving the fucking 1964 Aston Martin DB5? What does that dude do? What does he look like? What does he do every day? And I thought about that and came up with a list of things. And man, I just started doing those things really again what it is about, and even at its freaky woo wooist and it's not at its quantum physicist, because it is in this realm of quantum physics, this quantum entanglement, this spooky action at a distance, all of these intertangled and interesting fucking things. There's a lot of shit we talk about on the show too that's absolute fucking science. Nobel Peace Prize was just awarded to 3 scientists for saying that we're on a fucking simulation, nothing's real, and you can manifest anything you want with your mind, kind of shit. And they just won Nobel Peace Prize for this shit. So it's like
Yeah.
it's coming out that these things that I've been looking into that were like, oh, okay, maybe are on this side of it. Now that I have the awareness, it seems like now it's here, and people are actually on a scientific level able to connect with the idea in a way that they find it valuable. And that is the most important point with this. Whatever way you navigate life, there is no one path. There is no fucking like, here's what you do, and then people are going to give you a list of things to do, and you're going to find in that list, doing them to the letter, you're going to find that none of them work, or that some of them work in a way. Then you're going to break down these 5 fucking things that this person told you to do that you did for 30 days straight every day because you set an alarm and shit. And you're going to go like, why the fuck didn't this work out? Like, what the fuck did it? And it's going to frustrate the shit out of you. And then you're going to throw it all away. And then depending on whatever resistance you encounter with coming back to the idea with discipline, that is where it comes into play, because what you really find with manifestation, and honestly, the trick to all of this fucking shit, is you get you figured the fuck out before you fucking look outside of it for anything. No one's coming to save you. Nobody's fucking out here going like, oh, let me give you a handout. Let me make your video go viral. Let me fucking
Right.
whatever. Not happening. You are the fucking hero here. This is your story. So you have to get your shit together. And when you get your shit together, that is when you discover the route which works best for you. And so this is the thing. It's sort of that. It's a great quote from that fucking Alice in Wonderland, the Cheshire Cat, when he says, if you don't know where you're going, any road will get you there. And the way I sort of
Wow.
look at manifestation is like my mom, whenever the most simple example I've given of this is my mom when she wants to buy me things for Christmas. Okay. So for years, dude, I'm just like, mom, I don't fucking, whatever. She
Yeah.
wants to buy me fucking Christmas presents, but I don't give her a list. And I'm just like, whatever. Or I'll give her a couple of things and she'll get those. Absolutely. I can guarantee they'll be there. And then also she's like, well, what else? And I'm like, mom, and part of it was my inability to receive nice things, and stuff like that. I had some worthiness issues that I worked
Sure.
out. I'm great. And that's again along this path of getting your shit together. And so along that path as well, I found that with this same situation, this is what's nice about things, especially families. Families are great compasses for the shit you need to deal with, because they're the things that keep fucking popping up, and they're the
Right.
things you got to fucking interact with on a regular basis. You're like, I
No
can make
kid.
this interaction easier if I just fucking get my shit together in this one respect and handle this, or just face
Yeah.
it, awareness. That's all you need to do, aware and integrate. So the thing about this is that I finally figured out that analogous to manifestation. So manifestation as a whole, people will say, oh, it's about, being a magnet and attraction. And yes, it's all of those things. And really what manifestation is again, it's not about the thing at the end of it. It's figuring out a bunch of fucking ways to fuck it up, and to fuck it up good, because
Yeah.
your experience of that hones your discernment, Jesus Christ, your
There it is.
discernment about
Ding.
what goes on or whatever. So as it applies to manifestation again, and my mom, the universe, if you want to fucking call it that, which yeah, that's fine, but it's spelled wrong. If you want to say
Yeah.
the universe, and add a Y and an O in front of it and then spell it correctly, it's you, dude. You're it. It's you playing a game of how you doing with yourself. That's it.
Yeah.
As I see it again, and this changes constantly, but uh with this again analogy, then my mom would sit there and say, okay, well, just tell me what you want, tell me what you want. Well, perhaps these people who don't think that they're manifesting anything, the universe or whatever, again, why universe, is sitting there going, hey dude, just what do you want? I'm sending you shit constantly, because when you ping off of an idea, then it's like, okay, yeah, I'm going to set things up, things are being moved, it's all ready for you, this interaction, oh yeah, this person's going to come in and this is going to happen, like it's all beautifully orchestrated in this amazing way, something you would see in a movie. And that's kind of really the way that I've seen it play out. It's an interesting thing. And so if you have this going on, then if you don't tell it what the fuck you want, again, if you don't know where you're going, any road will get you there. My mom, I finally figured out, hey mom, I'm just gonna, this would be great, that'd be awesome, I'm willing to receive now, was what I was telling her. With everything I was willing to give her on a list, I was saying, I'm worthy now, I'm willing to receive, I'm over my shit, I'm ready. Then I would say, okay, to the universe, if you want to say it this way, but again, this is my view of manifestation, and I've tried every fucking way not to do this, dude. It's like Edison. I didn't find 1,000 ways to fail at a light bulb. I found 1,000 ways not to do that. I found 1,000 fucking ways not to fucking manifest. But the way that I'm doing it now is so fucking fruitful. And it seems like the last door, right? It's that silly thing. It's the last place you look. And there it was. So with this again, my mom just wanted a list, just like the universe. Okay, look, universe, here's what I want. I'm ready for this in my life. I'd like this experience. I would like this salary. I would like to be doing this occupation in exchange for that salary, if that's something that you find necessary. I'd like to travel more. I'd like to whatever. Okay, what do I need to do for that to achieve? Now, the first part of all of this is you really sit with yourself, and like you said, Ryan, oh, I wanted this with your king of the hill life, and you got it. Well, yes, all of us are sitting in our current manifestations. Now, whether you believe in manifestation or
Yeah.
not, you're sitting in one right now. You
Right.
chose everything. Again, if in your mind as you hear those words say, no, but this happened to me and these people did this to me, then that's what you need to talk about with yourself. You know what I mean? When you alchemize it into why it happened for you, because everything I think happens for you. And even on the shittiest other side of the shittiest things that have ever fucking happened to you, air quotes, then you will find that that's where your greatest awarenesses happen. That's where the shifts occur. That's when you
Yeah.
had the balls to finally do something awesome. That's when you're the most proud of yourself and your resolve. That's when like this shit is real. That's why you come to Earth, is for that shit right there. But just like in music, man, and there's so many examples in music that play out in life like this. And one of the great ones is this idea of dissonance, something being so shitty, a horrible chord that's just played just nasty, right? And sustained and held. And you look at the audience and you're making fucking eye contact as you know you're just raping their ear holes with this fucking
Yeah.
tone that no one likes. But
Oh,
I'll be good goddamned, the next tone, the next note, the next anything is the coolest goddamn thing anyone's ever heard. But it took it sounding like shit before for it to be dope, or sounding off, discombobulated, whatever you want. Dead Mouse had a great master class where he talks about this electronic musician, and he talks about that he'll dip the dB before a big drop, and then when the big drop hits, it snaps back up, and then
yeah.
boom, you're in it. But that pullback, that like denial of you,
Yeah.
completion of, that right there is what it is. So really, with all of yourself and shit, it's about dialing that in. And once you get all your shit, you take your shit, you put it in a bag, you get your shit together, and then you figure out what you want. And then once you do that, just like my mom, you make the universe happy, because the universe is like, oh, thank God. Now I'm going to give you a trick to this. And I just recently discovered this. It came to me. I've been playing with it. It's been awesome. All you need to do to tell the universe what you want, you're sitting here going, oh, fucking universe, how to do that? Here's how you do it. You just go, whenever you're in a moment where you're like, fucking dude, this is like the coolest thing ever. This is the best thing ever. This is the best meal ever. This is the best sex ever. This is the best shit I've ever taken. I feel the most amazing. This is the best shower, whatever. Anything that's just cool as fuck. Recognize it, first of all, for fucking being amazing, and be grateful for it. Then say, I'm grateful for this moment. That's it. What you're basically doing is you're sending the universe an Amazon wish list. You're saying, okay, this feeling, whatever brings me this feeling, not maybe the specific
Yeah.
thing, maybe it's not the thing, just this fucking feeling. This is what I want more of. You know what I mean? And so that is you telling your mom, hey, this is what I want. Don't give me the fucking socks. I'm not going to use them. Yes, it's a gift, and the universe still gives you things because you're constantly getting shit that you're asking for. You
Yeah.
just don't know how to ask. That's all it is, man. It's an awareness, honestly. And what it really does is it allows you to take the reins of your life in a very, very literal way. It's not freaky woo woo, because what
Sure.
it really does is it says, hey, there are a lot of things distracting you out here that you pay way more attention to than you think you do. And if you just sort of focus on one thing, maybe let's say finding a penny with your birthday on it, a birthday year on it,
Right.
and just think of that more than you think of the Real Housewives of whatever, or more than whatever your fucking boss did and why it sucks and why you shouldn't be that. You know what I mean? Whatever
Yeah.
story you have, if you just sort of take a percentage of the time that you spend on dumb shit that doesn't serve you anymore, that you replay constantly. And again, the only reason I can say these words confidently is because I've gotten over all this shit. I did this for years, man. Is
Yeah.
just take a percentage of that shit and slice it off and say, okay, this tiny little bit, I'm just going to say, what's the best that can happen? Like, I'm going to clean that closet out finally. I'm going to go clean out the garage. I'm going to do something to my home that betters it, to myself that betters it. Those are the things where you take that small percentage, and that small percentage, man. That's all you need to get that fucking ball rolling. That's the snowball. And then you'll find that all that other time is bullshit. Like you're just like, oh, what I'd rather now, oh, I could, read this book too. Oh, cool. I want to add reading this book to it. Anything like that, dude. And you just start increasing that percentage of shit that you were involved in with your attention. And you just say, you know what? I'm just going to choose to replace it with something else. And these little things, they're not about the thing. It's not about like writing something 50 times. It's about a mindfulness practice. It's about shutting all the dumb shit out. Again, the Real Housewives of whatever will still be there. Just shut it down for like 5 minutes, man, and just sit with yourself for a second. And really, the secret to all of this fucking shit is it's you need to figure out your relationship with you. And once you get that,
Wow.
that's it, man. That's honestly the secret to this whole fucking thing. But recognize also that all the things out there that say that they're for you, that say they're going to save you, that say you should be listening to them, all of them, their job in this game is to keep you from doing what I just said.
Right.
All you have to do is see it and tell them to fuck off.
Mic drop.
Get started, dude.
Dude, that was awesome. Like that was
How I
awesome.
feel about it.
All of it was great, and it was all great information too, and something I certainly need to look into. Like I like, because I feel what's the word? I've always not been the optimist. I've always been a pessimist, and I've always tried to get out of that, right? Especially lately, especially the last few years. And from talking with you, from listening to you and your podcast, from and other people you've interviewed, and following them and listening to them on their podcast, I've learned a lot, and a lot of the stuff has started to help me. I mean, grounding for one, like that is like, if you guys don't know what this is, I'll provide links below. Like it, you put your feet in the dirt. How about that?
Spoiler alert. You put your feet in the ground. That's it. Your bare feet. Your bare feet.
So,
there's science to it.
Yeah, and then you add a little bit of meditation, maybe, or like I did, and being present, being there, not letting. In meditation, for me, it's like work creeps in, and you got to get out of here. You got to push it back out. You got to be here right now. Well, it's hard. It's hard. It's not easy. Not everybody can do this stuff. So what's been working for me is going outside, putting my feet in the dirt, and just looking at the squirrel over there doing some shit.
Awesome.
My dog over here doing some, and just existing. Yeah. And when work comes in, I'm like, no. My dog taking a big shit over there. Wow. I fed her good. It just being aware, being present, breathing breathing techniques help. And I have a lot of anxiety, and this stuff pretty much alleviates it. And so no drugs, y'all. Like just
little
straight
drugs
up,
if you want.
I mean, you could live your life. But I'm just, what I mean is, like, I'm not, because I can't fucking smoke weed because I work in oil and gas. I would if I could.
I'm going to help you break this. As long as you keep beating that drum, it's going to continue to be there for you to smack on. We're going to change your whole mind about it.
Can we change
first
the
of all,
state of
reframe
Texas?
it.
Yeah,
no, it's got nothing to do with that. I live in the state of Texas. I'm tired as fuck right now. I was hitting the bong coughing before you started this thing, and that's what started it. That's why we're laughing. It's not about that. It's the way you feel about it. That's what it is. Yes, you were in a current situation to where your monetary income that you rely on for your sustenance and to keep the
lights on,
the hill roof over your head, then that requires you to be sober when they ask you to pee in a cup. They require no THC in that cup, and you require correct. I agree with you that precaution you're taking of doing that is very, very necessary. But if you're not going to switch jobs, what I understand is way fucking easier said than done, especially at the income level. But what I'm saying is what you can do is reframe the way you think about it. Now, this is the most fucking weirdest woo-woo, whatever bullshit thing that I ever did that actually shocked me, that made me go, holy fuck. Like, I talk about weird shit, for a living. And this, when I did this, it was so specific, and it worked so goddamn well that I recommend it to anyone. And so I feel now that you've talked about this, that this is a perfect opportunity. And also, anytime you bring this up and you're like, hey, talk about this, I'm like, okay, whatever I say, I was meant to say for whoever's listening to this. The people out here, if you found it, of course, you're meant to. All right, dude. So what I did was, in my case, there was a situation in my life, several actually, where I was unhappy with every interface with 4 different individuals, one of whom was my wife, very close to me. And so this hit home. Now, we'd been married for 8 years. So, it was just kind of one of those 7-year deals, whatever. Sure. And it was one of these things to where, like, there was just things that changed about me where when I changed, this is another heads up for everybody out there improving your motherfucking selves. It's when you change, your environment stays the same for the most part where you're at. And you're like, hang on, I don't fucking like this. Why am I here? What is going on? And that's what's occurring with you. That's why you feel stagnant or claustrophobic a little bit. Because the thing that you wanted more than anything in the world, which you have right now, at some point, you wanted this more than anything in the fucking world right now, where you're sitting.
Right.
And now it is not what you desire anymore. And so to change that, you must feel uncomfortable because you're not just going to do it on your own. You're not going to go get another job. You're not going to do any of that. So things around you, meaning you, because you're all that's here at a level, I just kind of then you make you feel uncomfortable in the form of outgrowing things. It's just the same way kids outgrow shoes, man. They're not meant to wear them forever. You're supposed to outgrow them shits. Their teeth, all that shit. We're deciduous creatures. Deciduous is a type of tree. It's a classification of tree. But really what it means, if you look it up in the dictionary, is to shed that which is no longer needed.
Oh,
All things, a lot of things are deciduous. Us with our teeth, hair, cells, all that regenerates and sheds off all the time because we don't need the old shit anymore. Same thing with like deers and their antlers, cats or animals in their fur, snakes in their skin. All sorts of things are deciduous.
yeah.
Trees with their leaves, shit like that. That's why it's a classification of tree. Okay. So you are also, and so when you find yourself in this moment to where you're shedding things, where the people get stuck, and this is the best metaphor I could think of, is that they're grabbing that old snake skin and trying to hang on to it. And the thing about it is you've outgrown it, man. It's an
Yeah.
attachment thing. It's like you're done with that. So your draw to smoke weed is not about really the draw to smoke weed. The real thing is about your desire for freedom. Freedom is what the thing here, not the weed. What
Sure.
having freedom will allow you to do is the freedom to do whatever the fuck you want. And that includes smoking weed every now and then if you fucking want to, which you should be
Right.
able to do, in my opinion.
I agree. It's a
So it's
plant.
not a, so exactly. So again, it's not about the thing, it's about something bigger, right? This is also, by the way, how manifestation works most effectively. It is not about money. Everybody says, "Oh, I fucking want $1 million." Dude, do you know what $1 million would look like coming to you in a year? And no one, hardly anybody can answer you that. I know exactly my desired salary down to the exact day amount, day, week, month, year, to the amount. I know this because I review it in my morning practice with my journaling and my reading every single morning. I've replaced my morning. It's incredible. We can talk about it if you'd like. But the whole point is, again, it's about reframing your focus. It's about saying, you know what? I'm done giving it away to all these things out there that now I can see because I heard this crazy dude on this podcast, because now I'm at a choice point. Once I heard this information, I had to face it
Yeah.
as something to look at. And you go, man, CNN's not getting any more of my attention. The fear campaign is not getting any more of my fucking attention. And all you have to do is detach from it. And again, the idea is not the money. It's not the individual little things, but by again detaching from the nonsense, you allow yourself to focus on what you really fucking want. And all you have to do is get clear, dude. That's it. You take 5 minutes a day and just get clear on what you want. Write it down. It will change. Just write it down.
That's
Fucking
a
sit
great
there with it.
idea.
Hang out. Okay, cool. What does $1 million look like to you coming to you? Does it come in one payment a month? Does it come in two payments a month? Does it go to your bank? Does it go to a trust? Do you know the amounts that you're getting? What are you getting taxed on with that? And don't even throw taxes into it. Just what is the breakdown on it? Year, month, week, and day. And when you can find your desired salary, if it's a fucking $1 million, then those are the things that you focus on, because really what occurred then is you made it more real. A lot of people say that they want things and they don't fucking even know the mechanics of what it looks like.
Yeah.
For that dream car, like I told you, I know where every fucking switch is on that bitch. It was my desktop background for like a year. So I
Sure.
know what
Sure.
the inside of that car looks like because I know that car, because the version of me that drives that car, I am that. And so I know this, right? And so this is another step in that. It's people sit there and say like oh, it's all this like you gotta wear beads and chicks, if you want to grow your pit hair out, first of all do it because they're beautiful, anything you want to do, but you don't have to participate in this kind of shit. Dudes, you don't have to fucking walk around barefoot, but again, I recommend it because of grounding. I can hardly ever wear shoes, but the point is there's no patchouli involved in any of this. All you'll have to do is just fucking get clear on what you want and really focus on it, man. It's about just focus. And this is why the matrix, if you want to call it that, is so great at its job until you figure out its game. Then it's useless at it. And it's just laughable. But its job is to make sure that you don't figure out that you're the fucking source of everything and that you create your
Wow.
life and steer your ship. That's its fucking purpose. And the whole point of that movie, They Live, that John Carpenter movie where they put the glasses on, it says obey and shit. That's the thing, man. It's the peak behind the curtain. And here, I don't believe that money is the actual currency. I believe your energy in the form of your attention is the only currency here. So if they can just snap your attention and lock it in, they're getting your energy. They're drawing loose from you, if you want to put it that way. And so if you just deny them that, number one, that experience evaporates from your existence. It's just not there anymore. You don't hear about it, you don't experience it. and you're not missing anything, which is the best part. The other thing is that that's when you find manifestation to be real because you shut out the noise. And this is also what meditation is all about too. I'm not a sit down meditator, man. I do grounding and meditation at the same time. Really, all meditation is just about being focused, being aware of your thoughts. So all of that to say, again, with manifestation, like first of all, if it is money, then get clear on what you want, what that looks like. Let's be adults about this. Like steer your fucking ship. Nobody's gonna just go, here's a check for $1 million and bounce off. What does it look like, dude? You know, fucking what does it look like? It's coming to you in a year. Memorize what it is, month, week, and day. So also added to that, then it's again not about the money, it's about the real thing, which everybody wants, which is fucking freedom, man. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. So
Dude,
freedom
I
is
watched
the
a thing.
real outward.
Just sorry to interrupt, but
No,
like I
please.
watched this thing. Speaking of freedom, I watched this thing. It's from I assume the early '80s. It was on Instagram today. I don't know who posted it. I don't remember. So sorry. But like it's an interview where they're going around and they're talking about how they're making drinking beer while driving illegal. And
Oh, I saw this. Yes.
everybody was pissed. They're like, well, this is gonna be a goddamn communist country after a few minutes. I mean, I get off work and I just want to
Yeah.
drink a beer. I worked 12 hours today. Somebody let me drink a freaking beer.
You know, like 2 or 3 beers on the way home.
Yeah. And yeah, this chick shows up. She's like, well, you can't drink a beer while you're driving. She's got her little kid with her. She's like, this is going to
Yeah,
be
to
a
be fair,
communist
that
country.
woman, to be fair, I saw this as well. And you guys can actually, the closest reference I can think of that posted it was a friend of mine, Justin Williams. He on his The Hidden Gateway podcast thing on Instagram. I know he posted it. Because
Okay.
one of the things I thought about whenever I saw that poor woman was number one, young lady with an infant in her bucket seat, truck. And this was footage from the 70s, right?
70s or early 80s. Yeah,
Early 80s,
absolutely.
something like that. Yeah, what's the
Yeah.
difference, right? But
Right.
there's gaps, right? My wife and I always say that either 89 or 91. We're like, what's the difference? So
Yeah.
anyway, yeah, whenever she was sitting there though, energetically, I could tell something about her. I could tell, just like whenever a kid starts speaking like an adult, like that has adult problems, really what it's doing is it's being a great parrot for its parent. So all it's doing is it's repeating what it's been told. And so energetically, that woman, when she was sitting there, I could just see what she was regurgitating because she was having trouble saying it. Not in a, she said
Yeah.
it with no conviction whatsoever. It was
Right.
a repeated automatic response to that question because her dad was just off camera and was like coaching her, was the
Sure.
feeling I got from that. And this is how most of this fucking game feels here with all these
Yeah.
fucking people. Is it's like it's this lack of confidence and empowerment in themselves, which is my fucking job here, by the way. My job is to give people back to themselves. And I'm very aware of this. And y'all are
I love
all
it.
fucking awesome. And you don't need anybody else. You're doing great. Where you are, you're doing great. So I want to get back to the focus of the mindset shift that I made. I think I derailed a little bit, but I'm coming back to it. So with one instance in my life in particular, I changed the way that I felt about something, and that's when it changed. So it's not that it's what's that quote? Fuck, I forgot who said that. It's the when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. And that is exactly what happened. I was like, holy shit, this fucking works. So this is what we're applying to your job. It's not about the weed, it's not about the boss, it's not about any of that. It's about the way that you feel about it. And I'm gonna show you this. Really focus on this. Even with things like your wife, your mom, your anything like this. There were situations in my life again where I could like eye roll when my mom called because I knew it was going to be the conversation was going to go a certain way about certain things. And I was just not into having it. Now, what I did instead was instead of eye rolling every time she called, I just changed the way I thought about it. I was like, you know what? My mom's got awesome news today. And my mom's doing great. She's kicking ass. She's fucking crushing it at life. She's on her highest timeline if you want to do that. And whenever I answered that phone that time, it was a totally different fucking mom than I was talking to. She was happy. She was bright. She had great news. It wasn't about like something else. She actually asked me about the podcast, which she never does. So already I felt like I was speaking to a different, how do I say human? It was like a different character in this game called my mom that used her voice and answered the phone. When I answered the phone, it came from her number, but it wasn't the mom that I was used to interacting with in this game. It was different because I changed the way I felt about it, the things I felt changed. So the whole thing also was my wife, same thing. There were little things going on where I was just like, I wish this was different, or I wish this, and we all do this, right? Everything about it. Now, what you don't realize is, a higher advanced thing is that this whole place is a fucking mirror to you. So whatever you're experiencing out there is really just a reflection of you of something you need to work on with yourself. Again, go within. Don't listen to all the fucking sports or whatever, or just take a break from it for a minute and just listen for 5 minutes. When you do that, you'll start to find things in there that go, hey, if you just change like the way you look at this or just evaluate it, just think about it. Like, do you really feel this way still about this thing? And if you just give it half a second, you go, you know what? I don't. It evaporates immediately and there's like a shift, there's a lightning, and you're like, oh, and that is the addicting drug, man. That instant, like, hang on, I don't have to like carry around a bunch of shit just because somebody said I had to, or I just never thought to question it in the first place. I could just do that and release it. Same thing goes with these preconceived notions you have about things, situations, people, a car, a vehicle. Like if you've got a vehicle that never starts and you're just like, fuck this piece of shit, fuck that. Send it like good love. Go wash the motherfucker, clean it out. I bet you it starts the next time. Give it some attention.
Okay.
It's about these weird. This is why like people talk to their cars. Why people who fly airplanes talk to their airplanes and shit. There's something to intent and attention, and that's all it takes, man. But that's the whole point, like I said, in the Matrix. Its job is to keep you distracted. And whenever you find yourself feeling empty and stagnant and shit like that, then the Matrix is one. And if you're cool with that, then cool. There's no like rules here. Do whatever the fuck you want. But if you want something better, at least the acknowledgement of it's the first step.
I love this. This is why I love talking to you, man. This is why I called you. I didn't know we were going to end up doing a show all last minute, which I'm glad we did. And thank you for coming on and doing it. But like,
this is what our phone calls are, by the way. We just do
this. Yeah, this is our normal conversation. We just talk about whatever and like whatever. Life, love, life.
You should talk about penises and farts a lot more from your end.
Well, I'm really I get that from Al Shire. You dude, Al Shire. So just this dude pops up. I talk to this guy every day. Every day. I haven't seen him since his wedding, which was like 4 or 5 years ago, like in real life. But we talk every day, and he'll take his phone, and he'll be talking to you, and then he just puts it next to his butt and farts in it, and he thinks it's fucking hilarious.
Oh, I think that's hilarious. Yeah,
I think that's hilarious. I think it's pretty funny. But he'll also do it, like he'll send you a voice, like in Messenger or whatever. It'll just be a voice message, and you can tell because it shows you like where things get loud, and you can tell it's like a spitty one. Like,
has he? What would be very impressive is how he's gone this long without avoiding giving himself pink eye.
Pink eye. Me and him were just talking about that the other day. Really? I'm like, I was like, I don't know how you don't have pink eye. He goes, it's because I use.
That's the real miracle.
He goes, it's because I use ear pods. I don't put my phone next to my face.
Yeah, but man, you accidentally or those ear pods fail, and you're just looking at that phone like, oh shit, I know what I've done to that poor thing.
Yeah, one day. He doesn't just do it to me either. He does it to all of his friends. It's his
outstanding.
It's his thing. That's pretty fun. So
Asture.
Yeah. Yes. Circling back to God Hates Me, the God Hates Me shirt. So we were kind of talking earlier about like, well, why do you not love yourself, or why don't you? And I haven't figured that out
yet.
Well,
why do you feel that God hates you? Let's start. That's the real question.
Well, I don't even feel things are different now than when I used to wear that shirt. I'm pretty sure my wife threw that shirt away. She says, I don't know where it went, but I'm pretty sure she chunked it.
Good on her. Tell Dawn I said hi. That's adorable. Tell her I like that move.
All right.
Not really, because I'm all about autonomy. But I mean, the real thing is why do you feel that God hates you?
I'm not sure. I think that I started realizing the other day, there's some stuff in my life where, I'm just not happy with that had happened, but there's nothing you can do about that because you, like we were talking about earlier, you're exactly where you need to be right now because of your experiences that happened before, like you're here. Those things had to happen to get you here.
Yeah.
But I focus on some shit. Like I was a shitty fucking person for a long time.
Well, what do you mean by that? Let's stop there. What do you mean by shitty person for a long time? Let's define that a little bit. Let's rope that in.
I was.
You don't have to be specific.
Okay. Oh well.
Yeah. Give yourself a break. Yeah.
I was very narcissistic, which I think I still am. But like way more than I am now. And I didn't care about a lot of people, and I was very convinced. I didn't care about animals. I didn't care about people. I didn't care about if I fucking hurt anybody or anything. And uh, I was just not a very good person until I don't know, until I realized all that stuff's stupid, and I've changed and I've grown from it, and I know that that's not the person, but I still it kind of dwells with me. So like when you were talking about the snake skin that you just keep fucking carrying around with you or whatever, I've you know with the bands and me being kind of feeling like I was a terrible person in the back in the day, it feels like I've shed all the skin, but I'm just it's the baggage that I'm
Yeah.
just dragging around with me that I'm having a hard time letting go of. And I think, my wife will, eh, I mean, I talked about this with the Cinebabes, on the episode last week. If you haven't seen it, go check it out here. It's great. They're wonderful podcast. They talk about horror movies. They came over on my show to talk about the music of horror. And then we went down the path that me and Brandon are going down right now. Because obviously I'm trying to work through something.
You're working through. You're not trying. You're a Deuceratops, not a Triceratops. Go ahead.
There it is. I'm a Deuceratops. I like that. I need it. Do you have a shirt? You need to make that a shirt.
I'll make it a shirt.
Because
I got
also
the Align Your Shockers shirt out. Did you see that? The commercial I made for it?
I haven't seen that. I saw the lizard
Mudra?
turds one. Lizard
No.
turd.
Okay, I tell you what, we're gonna do this, but keep talking. I'm gonna send it to you. I'm gonna send you the raw one that you can actually play and share your screen with everyone at the end of this for everyone, so we can all watch it together. So you can have the sound and all that shit on your end.
Everybody, check it out. We're gonna do it right now.
Do you want to do it now?
The knowledge of sacred ancient tools of enlightenment survive the sands of time, awaiting discovery for those of us in the modern world willing to seek them out. Among them are the mystical mudras, a Sanskrit word meaning seal, mark, or gesture, predominantly found in Buddhism, Hinduism, and Jainism. Mudras are like yoga for the hands. The poses performed with focus and intent offer the practitioner greater spiritual awareness and personal freedom.
Take a deep breath in and relax.
The Surya Mudra is the best called upon if you find yourself in the mudra for some serious enlightenment. With 2 in the sacral and 1 in the root shoot, the Surya Mudra is perfect for deep cleansing your power portals. Align your chakras. One with all and available now.
Expanding reality.
We failed to talk about it in this episode again because we were just talking about so much cool stuff. But dude, if you guys want to get one, I'll have links below. Go to expandingreality.com. You got to check Brandon's show out. He's a fantastic human. And obviously you've seen by his awesome commercial. Like, he's got this great sense of humor. All right, back to the episode.
So whenever you said I'm those things, you're not those things anymore. So then my instant question to you is like, what power do they still have over you? Like if you don't identify as any of those, which I don't put you in those categories, even if you were before, which I've got a fucking laundry list of characteristics, dude, that if I chose to drag around like an anchor, I wouldn't be the dude that you enjoyed talking to. Again, this is the part of like you letting go of that shit because you have a bigger role here, Ryan. It's bigger than you, dude. So you need to let this shit, or at least come to a point to where, and you're here, you're at it now, to where you're looking at things a different way. And whenever you do that, dude, that's when the answers come. So here's an exercise that I use that just fucking worked so fucking well. And I've passed this on. This has been so effective. It's going to help you so much. I love this. Okay. So you said again that there was a time period in which you felt this occurred. What was the earliest point in that time period? How old were you, do you think?
9.
Okay, 9. Good. Do you remember, and you don't have to say it, anything about the age of 9 that happened that made you feel that there was a survival mechanism that, if engaged in the form of this character that you don't find attractive anymore, if you put on the mask of this character of all the things you just described that you don't identify anymore and you've long since released, then there was something that occurred there that if you put that character on, that you would be better off, that it was a better option than anything you had to authentically offer anybody. Do you remember anything going on with that? Again, you don't have to answer, just maybe a nod or just go ahead and move on. Okay, so if there's some shit in there, okay, so look, the 9-year-old Ryan version of you is where that started. So what you do is we can do this now if you'd like, or this can be a private thing. You go to that young man. Now, what's very interesting about this exercise is, again, if you people are like, oh, it's fucking freaky woo woo, quantum physics tells us that particles that are interconnected with one another are interconnected forever across time, across space. Time does not exist beyond realms other than this, in which the quantum, which is observable to us, is very real and tappable. But again, it's where shit gets weird. It's where physics breaks down, including time. Now, if on a submolecular level, which again, people are winning Nobel Peace Prizes for at the moment for science in this field, saying these very things I'm telling you right now. Had a guy named Dr. Doug Matsky on. He's the only dude that Dr. William A. Tiller, famous physicist, ever co-wrote a book with, and it's Deep Reality. I'm looking at it right now as a buddy. He and I talk about this kind of shit, that whenever you have particles like that, what Einstein called freaking action and spooky action at a distance, he hated fucking quantum physics, by the way.
Yeah.
What he called that is because two particles, you affect the spin of one, then it'll affect the spin of the other in an opposite orientation. Okay, so an equal but opposite. Okay, so this one's spinning north south. Now it's the opposite. Okay, so you can then easily wrap your mind around that you in this reality have existed in slices of time all the way back through whenever you popped out of your mom's vagina. There have been moments called seconds,
Yeah,
that
right.
if you string them together, that's your life. But if you take them as pieces, then they're just fragments, right? That are pictures, snapshots. And you have to thumb them together like a flip book or add them together in a reel to play them as action, as time, right?
Yeah.
So what you do is that you go to the mental version of you that's 9 years old. You sit him down. You find what that room looked like. What did that room look like? What did it smell like? What did he wear? What do you look like? You go to that little bastard and you say, look, dude, it's okay. Like, it's going to be okay. What you do is you tell that little boy, if you're listening, little girl, little whatever, that look, the things that you did back then, the decisions you made with the information you had at the time got us to where we are. And look at where we are. Bring them to your place now. Show them your home, show them your dog, show them your car, show them your wife, show them your bank account. Show them the cool things that you have, your Lego collection, like dope things that a 9-year-old would think was cool as shit for their future version of them to have. And you have that now. Now, the important part is that 9-year-old version of you, if it didn't exist, scared and as fucked off as it was, and the things that you carried around for a long time, long after it, you no longer needed them. If that little boy didn't exist, you wouldn't have all those nice things to show him. You wouldn't have all those awesome things to be proud of to show that little boy. The most fucking weird thing to really wrap your mind around is whenever you do an exercise like this, you find that at any point in your life, the version you are now is the guide that you needed. That's the person you needed to talk to the most when you were in those times, is the person you are right the fuck now. Like, there's no one better in your life that you could recommend to send back to that little boy to do it. It's from where you are now. And the whole point of this exercise is, even on a quantum physics level, dude, you affect the spin of that moment back then, and it affects the spin now. And what's even crazier about this shit is, if you really want to go woo woo with it, then it never happened because you're not carrying it around anymore. Therefore, the Matrix's job of enacting things as anchors on you and barnacles and attention grabbers, all of the signposts and shit, it fails to do so whenever you can, especially when you can grab a memory from back then, bring it to your now and go, hey, I didn't catch you back there. You did a great job. You were awesome in our survival. And look at all the dope things we have now because of you. Thank you. We're not banishing you. We're just saying you don't have to be scared anymore. That's it. Take a look. Hang out as long as you'd like.
Wow.
That's how you heal this kind of shit. But again, you can't do it if you're yelling at a TV screen. You can't do it if you're, it's harder to do. I will say that. But the whole point is this few-minute exercise that you can do while you're taking a shit. That little bitty thing, man, that goes so far. And even on a science level, like, again, scientific papers are written about the very simple example I just gave you that seems pretty fucking woo-woo. And it kind of is whenever you've been raised in a world that believes in scientism with a dollar sign, scientism, science with a dollar sign, not science, not actually asking questions and following research, which is the scientist that I talk to. Again, that Dr. Doug guy, PhD quantum physics guy, he worked for Texas Instruments for 20 years on their AI program. Like, one of the most brilliant minds walking around here. And the dude's just like, yeah, angels are fucking cool, fucking what about law of attraction? I'm like, yeah. And we talk about all that kind of shit. He's been on the show. He's awesome. Very cool dude. Anyway, Little things like that, man, make the biggest difference. But really, it's about forgiving yourself, because really what you can sit with is that anything you did, you're welcome to drag that around, the feelings of what you could have done differently and all that kind of shit. Number one, it's not going to change. So again, you're welcome to beat that dead horse as long as you'd like, but there's shit to do here. Like there's waterfalls to enjoy, there's dogs to take on walks, there's cool things. So, what you do is you alchemize the energy. That's what this whole fucking place, that's really the big secret too. You just alchemize the fucking energy. I'm rubber, you're glue the fuck out of this place. You know what I mean? Like you don't need to attach to everything, and take on everybody's bullshit or everybody else's identity of what you are, especially. But that sort of idea of just, observe and release, catch and release. I mean, that's all it is, dude. You got a bunch of fucking things swimming around out here in your subconscious. Just catch, re-alchemize, say, hey man, thank you for what you're doing. You just don't need to cause a ruckus anymore. Like you're safe, and then release. It's an awesome exercise. It's very effective, and it's just something really, really cool to sit with. And again, it's about getting clear. It's about like, okay, why do I feel fucking triggered around my mom? And I'm not a fan of that word triggered. My wife and I were talking about that, but it's kind of what it is. It's an indicator that something's going on within you that you have expressed to the universe, God, yourself, whatever, that you're ready to move forward in life. You're ready to be of more service. You're ready to help more people. You're ready to not feel like your life is being wasted, and that your talents are just going down the toilet because you're so fucking awesome. And we all know this about you, right? Anybody listening to this applies. So you don't have to fucking throw that shit away. You just direct the focus and you do it again. Just be calm with yourself. No judgment at it, man. You made the best fucking decision you could with the information you had at the time. Just like our parents, man. This is how you heal your parents' shit. Same thing, dude. They made the best information that they could, the decision that they could with the information at the time. It's a tough one, dude. But to be honest, is it, I mean, we're meant to outgrow our parents. We're meant to be better. That's the whole goal for them anyway. So really what you can do in the highest respect of that, of honoring that, which I think all of us should strive for independent of our parents' wishes of it, is to say, you know what, mom and dad, like I forgive you. There was some shit that I went through that at the time sucked ass. But again, this crazy guy on this podcast told me that I could just go back, heal it, and it totally worked. And then also on the other side of it was this huge epiphany that I had that I'm actually really grateful for. And it wouldn't have happened had you not have been in the mode of thinking you were, making the decisions you were, that were obviously not in anyone's highest good at the time. But Jesus Christ, if I hadn't gone through it, man, I wouldn't be where I'm at now. And man, I fucking appreciate that. When you get there, that's where you take all that fucking power back, dude. That's when you're unstoppable, man, because that's where the real power is. It's in the way you interpret things, even that they don't exist. If you really look at any of the mindfulness whatevers, it's only this moment, and a lot of people spend so much time looking back or looking forward, and it's like, dude, right here, man, this is the only one you got. You could be looking back and worried about these things that you did, again, with the best in making the decisions you did with the best information you had at the time, and you could think about that as much as you'd like, but man, we're going that way, dude. There's a show to do, there's things to do. So again, you greet that little man and you say, you know what, buddy, you were necessary. I'm not banishing you at all. You're very important. You're welcome here because you're part of me. You're me. You're a segment in time. All I did was hop back through this motherfucker and say hi to you and just re-greet you and just let you know that, hey, future you is saying it's going to work out, man, because it is. Look where we are. Look what we're doing with this podcast thing, man. Look what's going on. There's so many things to be excited for. I get to bang this chick and like show him your wife. You know what I mean? Like you get to, it's your place, man. And so the fact that, again, and I keep making these considerations for the audience, and it's silly of me to do so, and so I won't from here on out. But what I'd like to point out is the reason I do that is because when I say, oh, something's woo-woo, it's due to the fact that social conditioning and the program have said that that is something that I should make sure that people understand, that I'm aware of, that it can sound like it's fucking weird. But
Sure.
the thing that's fucking weird is that this place has told you that it's fucking weird. That's the apprehension of the energy. And a lot of that shit happens here too. That's scapegoating, that gaslighting shit.
Yep.
Astrology is one of the biggest examples of that. And so what I will say to that then is dude, this is your fucking place. Live it the goddamn shit up, and the best way to do it again is to just get your shit together. And by that, I mean, get this together. You mastered this, you mastered fucking everything.
That's where it's at, and I think I need to spend more time thinking about that, because you're absolutely right, or I totally believe you are, because that's something I'm not focusing on. You get too lost in things. And one of the things that I do, and my wife, oh, I love her so much. She's so wonderful that she has to deal with me all the time.
Gets
To deal with me all the time. Anyway, the whole reason one of these things got brought up is because I know I'm kind of jumping around here, but I'll be like, Ryan, you fucking piece of shit. And
nah.
Dawn will say, don't talk
Good.
to my husband that way.
Yeah. Good.
Because she's talking to the other me or
Yep.
whatever, the bad version of me who talks negatively to myself. Or
The
whatever.
version of you that survived that way. And that was a useful mechanism for it to survive. And it did so successfully. So therefore, it's got no track record to think that it was in the wrong or that it's no longer needed because your survival is proof that its existence was necessary, which is very true. Okay. Very, very, very true. What you do, though, is that you re-greet your bouncer. You say, hey, bouncer, that dude who greets everybody with that energy that whenever you feel threatened or whatever, it triggers something, man. There's so many nuanced little things here. And to put it in just this is what's going on. And it's just so much. But what you can say is that there's another mechanism that steps in as a survival mechanism because that's what it is, man. It's ego. And dude, I lived in survival mode for 22 years. I moved out 2 days after graduation with 2 bags of clothes and my guitar on foot. I didn't have a car. I just fucking said, get fucked. So I get what survival mode is. And this is why manifestation took me so goddamn long. It's the trust. It's the not believing that it took a fuckload of hard work and I had to be the best and scrap and scrap and scrap. Otherwise, I wasn't going to survive. Like I did that for too long. And that results in a lot of things. Also, you gotta greet with kindness. So again, the whole point of this is that's a mechanism that steps in and it's great at its job, man. All you have to do is let it know that it doesn't need to be that way anymore. It's just, again, going to your bouncer at your club and saying, hey, dude, we're actually letting these people with sneakers in now. So you don't have to do that anymore. It's all good. And he's like, oh, okay, I just didn't know. And you're like, yeah, no, you're doing a great job, man. Here's like $5. You're doing awesome, we appreciate what you're doing. You're very necessary. You've gotten us like all the cool, we get to open a whole arcade wing because of your bouncing duties because we've gotten so much business. Like, this real thing, because it's a treasured member of your league, of your association, of that which is Ryan. And there's this interesting concept of walk-ins that I talked about on a recent episode about like how our bodies are just like vessels anyway. And so any time you're where you are, you're just the attunement or the embodiment of another you that's at a certain vibrational frequency. Okay.
Yeah. Wow.
So this idea goes is that like whenever you level up, you basically are now a vibrational match to a higher version of you. Like you don't eventually meet it in the future. You're the physical vessel for it. It's ready to go. It's like wrestling. It's ready to be tagged in, tag team. It's just ready for you to get your shit together. It's ready for you to greet that 9-year-old boy and say it's going to be okay, because that has so many further reaching ramifications than it does the actual act itself. Again, that's the way this fucking universe or whatever the fuck this place is. It's not about the thing. It's about doing the thing because of all the ramifications. It's way bigger. So, but focusing your attention on a small thing is how you make these huge ripple effects that you aren't even aware of. That small, holding a door open for someone sounds innocuous as shit, dude. That was a fucking nuclear bomb that went off in energy in the universe. Something happened there where amazing things got set into motion. If you treat every doorway, every portal as a smile cue, whenever you fucking hit a doorway, smile. That's it. Nothing. Like, be goofy as fuck if you want. Just smile. Every fucking time you hit a door, change your life. It'll change your goddamn life. But again, the whole point of this is just about being mindful and being on track. I think I kind of lost my track, which is ironic.
It's okay. That's what this show is all about. I said this to the Cinebabes the other day. I was like, they're like, we're kind of not talking about music and horror anymore. And I was like, that's okay. let's keep going. Like, in fact, actually, we haven't talked about music at all today, and this has been fantastic. Yeah. Somebody say something. What are you listening? Oh no, you talked about Deadmau5 or whatever.
Yeah, I did talk about. We had some musical dissonance references, and they all apply. Like so many things. Like cymatics is a great example of this, and that's all musical and frequency and shit.
What are you listening to currently? What's the last thing you listened to musically?
Phi Tribe, dude. I've been really on this YouTube channel, Phi Tribe. I love these fucking people. It's frequency music. They have like 8-hour playlists to sleep. They have like all of these different frequency music. Phi, PHITRIBE. Their buddies actually Ford. I'm gonna get a show put together, and you're gonna join us for that. And I would love to get them on your show. I actually sent you an email with all their list and shit.
You did. I got it. I seen it.
Okay, them. That's who I've been listening to. I put it
okay.
on for like 8 hours while I'm working a day, and my productivity has been fucking through the roof, dude.
I need to
Through the
I need to
goddamn
check
roof.
that out. Yeah, I was looking at it. I was checking my podcast email at work. I was like, oh, cool. I'll check this out later. And then, of course,
Get them on.
life.
Incredible. So Ford is a music producer. I mean, if you want all the like, first of all, the music is incredible. It's got science behind it. They're like frequency magicians. They understand the balance and they put like sacred geometry and harmonics and shit. Like
Wow.
it's next level music. It's channeling the great beyond through fucking music, and it's insane.
That's awesome.
But again, a lot of science, a lot of badass shit. But what was I saying? Ford, though, as a music producer, Ford's bio is insane. Music producer, like over 35 billion streams, over 35 million something downloads. He was in
Wow.
Ford was a music producer for like 25 years. Did things for Michael Jackson, Jewel, Ludacris. I mean, just the list is
Luda.
insane. Yes, and I told Ford, I was like, oh my god, dude, Luda is like my thing, and it was like, well, I did the whole Chicken and Beer album and all the remixes and shit. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Like it's like award
Wow.
winning. Did EDM for a long time. Got in the science. Author of 2 books. Like next level fucking human. You know what I mean?
Nice.
Next level fucking human. If human at all, which I don't know yet. But either way, that's honestly what I've been listening to. I've been frequency music when I do the
Cool.
construction job. I have that in. Just something to really, like I said, I've been getting very here, man, and I've been realizing that's where my power lies. And so, whenever I get to spend time with that, or when I'm working on a project or something, the musical, I guess, score for that environment really has been about. I don't want silence, but I also don't want something that's going to put me in a state of singing it or reacting to it, or a state of hyper, like, oh, I'm pumped up, I'm gonna fucking get some work done. Like I'm ready to be in this alpha state, man. That's where there's this beautiful frequency, man. And you get in that and you just coast. Everything's easy. You understand this place is a flow. And it's this like whenever in the Matrix, man, at the end, whenever he like, is moving his hand like this and he doesn't understand why it's so fast and everything's so easy, but the outside world's struggling to get to him. That's how it feels. And so this music brings that out of me. Now, I've listened to a lot of frequency music and it all has similar effects, but this, for some goddamn reason, man, there is something different to it. And I don't know if
Okay.
that's the placebo effect because I've been told that. I'm not ruling it out. But I also think that if that is the case, then it makes it more powerful either way because it really has a lot of intent in the music itself and the structure and in everything. It's cool. It's a lot of drones and sweeping shit, but dude, it's like
I like
again, put it
that.
on for sleep. They have a 3 minute fall asleep in 3 minute thing, and you just put it on YouTube. They got to like 87,000 subscribers in a couple of months. Like it's
Wow.
super popular. They're incredible. Anyway,
Huh.
this is
Well,
what
I'm
I've
gonna
been.
check. Yeah, yeah,
That's what I've
yeah.
been listening to, and they're great. You have them on. Ford and Mike are incredible. I sent you all their shit. You've got their press
I
kit.
got it. I got it all. Yeah, and I'm gonna now that you reminded me, I'm gonna go back and open that email again because
Yeah, yeah, it's all there.
I flagged it in my Gmail or whatever. Like, oh yeah, come back to this, and then I
Perfect.
have
And
my
this is divine timing that we talked about
yeah.
it now because now is the perfect time to get them on. Actually,
That's right. Okay, right on, dude. The talking about placebo effect stuff. This is a little segue, but Joe Rogan, he works or he has interests in that supplement group that
Alpha
makes like
Brain.
Alpha
Yeah,
Brain and then
yeah.
New Mood. And
Neurotropics. Yeah,
yeah, so I got New Mood and I was trying it, and it's got
nootropics.
what is that called? HTCP or whatever that is.
HTTP.
Yeah, one of the. You know what? We're on the set. We're almost there.
Isn't that the thing with the every
HTCP.
time you put in a web address, HTTP? Isn't that what it
Yeah.
is?
Oh, yeah, that's it. Yeah, but no, it's HTCP. HTP.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
The hell.
The letters.
What's in New Mood? I'm gonna just Google it.
I love this.
Alpha Brain, blah blah blah. It's made by On It, which is that
Yeah.
company. And
Did you try it?
I haven't tried Alpha Brain, but I've tried
Okay.
this New Mood. I have it, and I took it for 3 days, and I went fucking batshit crazy.
Yeah, I've heard
Like-
mixed reactions. I've never taken it.
So the first time I took it, the first day I took it at work, and it worked. The thing, but I don't know if it was the placebo effect. But like
That's fair.
everything chilled out, everything went cool. I actually kind of felt a little, not like high or anything, but like I don't know, tingly. Like I felt good.
Sensory. Yeah.
I felt good. Well, I kept taking it for a few days, and supported by Joe Rogan. Are you serious? Okay, anyway.
Well, he owns part of the company, I think.
Yeah.
He has a controlling interest in it.
he anyway, the I came home, I think it was on Friday, and I started this chemical that's in it, ingredients, there it is. This chemical that's in it, um I don't know, it helps with your serotonin, or
Uh-huh.
kind of, and it kind of
Probably ashwagandha.
it kind of replaces
Ashwagandhas, man, you
five
gotta be careful with that.
5-HTP.
5-HTP, that's right.
And anyway, I don't know if this is what did this to me, but I came home and I get on these things where I'm like, I come home and I'm like, this house is a mess. I start cleaning everything.
Okay, here's pause. Here's another exercise for you to do. When you pull up in the car, think, oh my God, I can't believe how clean my house is. Every single time you pull up, be surprised at how well, expect it to be just absolutely gorgeous. Okay, go
Okay.
ahead. This is another mindfulness one because you constantly expect it. So therefore you have a task that's going to distract you from something you'd rather be doing. Do you see that if you give a mouse a cookie to this, and all
Yeah.
of it starts with your recognition of it? All you have to do
Okay.
is stop saying, the other thing is taking on the responsibility of feeling you need to do that immediately. That's a whole nother conversation. But I will say I'm flagging this for this moment because you brought it to my attention now. Next time, be so pumped about how clean your home is, how amazing and how it feels every time you walk in the door and smells, and it's just everything's awesome. Go ahead.
Okay. Okay. I'm gonna try that. So anyway, like I guess whatever. I sometimes those modes just happen. It's no big deal.
Yeah.
I found myself starting to get extremely agitated. Extremely agitated. Like kind of like, this is ridiculous. Why are you this agitated about this? And it happened for a couple of days, like where I was kind of like, I was yelling at my wife, not necessarily about her not. I just was just upset, and I was like raging, and it just stayed that way. And I thought, I'm going to stop taking this stuff and see if it's it. See if this is it. And I stopped taking it, and literally after like 2 days of not taking it, I calm back down.
Yeah.
So I'm not dogging New Mood because I felt like it kind of did something. And I'm not even saying that maybe this didn't even have anything to do with New Mood, but I took it, started getting a little crazy.
Yeah. Those nootropics are fucking weird. They fuck with your mind. And that's the whole thing. They fuck with the chemical compositions being sent and mixed in your mind. So that it therefore tricks it into getting dopamine and serotonin, things you can get naturally from working out, a healthy diet. I know the things that you roll your eyes about, but you don't
No,
anymore
no,
because
it's
you're on your
true.
highest timeline. That's right.
Right.
And so those type of things in there, yes, they're good for short term, one day maybe, but even that, like I don't recommend any of them because they react differently to anybody, and I'm not some hippie and like,
I
oh,
think
you
that,
shouldn't
no, I
because
think you're
it's
right.
not natural.
I think one day, because it worked that one day. It
Yeah.
worked. And then I
And
kept
then,
taking it.
yeah. And then your
And
body
then
was like, yeah.
it made me crazy.
But there are natural things that I'm not and so that's the thing I was saying is I'm not some hippie that's like, oh, because it's no natural, I'm not going to take it. No, fuck that. I've got plenty of things in my life that I absolutely love that are synthetic that I, love. And the interface, this is a great example of it. These little fucking, the delivery system for nicotine has really stepped its game up, and man, I'm a big fan. So there's that. Where was I at? Fuck me dead. Oh, but the
All
ginkgo
right, but you got to buy
biloba,
me a beer first.
ginkgo biloba.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
took
Yeah.
it fucking gave me a panic attack, and I just won't take it anymore. I stopped
Yeah.
taking it, stopped having a panic attack. Like it was weird. It
Yeah.
was really weird, but it's all natural. Ashwagandha, same thing. You can't take too much of it. It's in this new mood stuff, and
Yeah.
it's stuff that you take. We took it for a long time every day, but man, we figured out ashwagandha, and you just can't take it every day. Just like microdosing, just like anything, man. You want
Yeah.
to like do something for a little bit, whatever, but then it's as an aid to get you where you need to get on your own. Like it's training wheels. They're not meant to be sustained things.
I was talking to Sal earlier, and he sent me a text. He was like, well, my neighbor just gave me a mushroom, so I just don't give a shit about anything anymore. I was like,
Yeah.
perfect, dude.
And I haven't taken mushrooms in a while, and it's because the last time I did, I got so bummed out. Like
Oh,
my
really?
wife said the same thing. Yeah, we took different batches and everything, and it was like I just got sad and like depressed. I was like, "What? This is not why I do this."
Dawn's encouraged me to microdose. I
Mhm.
haven't. I haven't taken mushrooms in very like years upon years upon years upon years. I don't even know how to go about getting them. But I mean, besides going into a cow field and picking them yourself,
We
but,
could talk.
But yeah, so the wrapping, not wrap. I'm not wrapping things up because you and me are still going to talk, but I'm going to wrap
We'll
things
talk.
up for the episode.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we've been talking for quite a while. Everybody, this has been
Amazing.
Brandon Thomas. He's a fantastic human. You can see
Oh,
why
this
I
is
love
fun.
talking to this guy because
Love you back.
we just always have such a great time. We've known each other for a really long time. He's got a great podcast called Expanding Reality. You go to his website, and you can check him out on anything, anything from
it's fucking everywhere.
YouTube to all the, all this, whatever, the socials, and he's on TikTok. You're on everything. Expanding.
Yeah, we're out there. You
Oh,
can't throw a rock and we're there.
It's true. Go
Yeah.
check him out. Brandon, thanks for coming on the show. Don't go anywhere because we're going to still
Yes,
keep
sir.
shooting the shit.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to load this bong. We're going to hang out.
Fuck yeah, this has been the 13. I'm your host, Ryan 13. Thanks for coming along. We'll see you on the next one. Oh man, that's such a good sound.
That's where you started.
Yeah. I'm not gonna start yet, but it'll be funny for me in the editing room.
God, that's funny.